Hello and welcome back to my channel. I am wielding a knife today because I've just had this delivery that I'm going to show you, and I'm going to get some odd jobs and things done today, so I thought I would take you along with me. This is probably going to span a couple of days just because I've got a few little jobs that I want to get done, one of which includes this delivery that I got today, and I'm going to be planting a few things and just sorting out the polytunnel and a few sort of January jobs, even though we're quite towards the end of January now. I'm going to be doing a bit of pruning, a bit of planting and a bit of tidying up ready for next month's crazy seed sowing sessions. So I need to get ready for that so that I'm not running around like a headless chicken trying to get all my trays ready and things like that. So this is something that I ordered from eBay. It's taken a while to come because of the bad weather. But definitely should have got my tripod out for this one. Can you tell what it is yet? So this is 100 willow cuttings. It's actually pussy willow to be exact. And last year I put some willow into the ground, and I want to put some more in because it's quite a wet field, so I'm hoping that this is going to help with drainage and things and also create a bit more of a screen. And then also we use the willow as well, obviously in winter we use it for wreaths and things, so I've got those to plant. So I think I'm going to put them in water just for now until I'm ready to plant them. Okay, so I've got a few inches of water and they've been cut on an angle like that, so the angled part goes downwards. So I think I might plant those tomorrow, so I'll just leave them in the water until then. This is the rather weedy looking willow patch that I started last year. That's contorted willow, curly willow, and this is various coloured willow. This one's grown a bit funny, so I'm gonna have to... Anyway, the point being is that this is the willow that I put in last year. I need to just clear that down a bit, and I'm going to prune it back down to the ground, and this time of year is a good time of year to be doing that. And then I'm going to put another strip of membrane across there and then plant my 100 new willow cuttings that are over there, and I might even take some cuttings from this and replant that across there as well. So this is quite a nice big wide strip, and I can afford to take some space from the side of this fence here, and hopefully it will create a nice little wind barrier. So first job of the day is to plant the ranunculus out. The sun's come out, which is going to make it lovely and toasty in the polytunnel. But I'm going to need a few things first. And the first one is my trusty trolley. So you might remember my video from last autumn where I was starting off these ranunculus in these trays, and I told you that they were going to be in the trays for maybe a couple of weeks, and it's been a couple of months now. And in that video I made sure that I put some compost in with my ranunculus corms because I knew that they were going to stay in the trays for too long. I'm only just getting round to starting to get jobs done in the garden again in the new year, so I need to really work on that. I need to start being more productive in December and January. I showed my other delivery that I got. Well, this is the result of just shopping online the other night. I got some willow that I'm going to plant tomorrow, I think, and then I also got some mint roots, so I need to pop those up today. First job's obviously going to be the ranunculus. So what I'm going to do is go through the beds with my hoary knife, and I'm just going to pull up the weeds that are there and just sort of like give them a bit of a whiz over so that I can plant the ranunculus in after that. And remember that video that I did about starting my ranunculus corms in autumn? Well, I said that I didn't think that I dug up that many ranunculus corms. Well, it turns out that a lot of them are still in here and they have sprouted themselves again in the holes, so that's good. That gives me a few more ranunculus to go on with this season. So yeah, I'll show you what I'm doing and then we're going to start planting. There's one of the sprouted ranuncs. So I'm just keeping my eye out for them as I'm going along. But basically, I've got things like this in the plug holes, so I'm just pulling them out. And if there's a bit of a root system or whatever, I'm just using my knife to pull it out. Just chilling on the floor with my ranuncs that I'm about to plant out. And I'm going to be planting them with this hoary knife, which is the best tool ever. You need to get one of these, as well as a trolley. These are my essential items. Trolley and a hoary. This one's from Newaki, I think. It's a little bit rusty, but it still does the job. And I think I've got these in my Amazon shop as well. So if you want one, take a look at my Amazon shop. The link is in the description down below. And this is just a great all-round tool. It's so good for weeding, it's really good for planting, and it's just better than a trowel. So I'm going to be using this today just to plant these ranuncs in the ground, and this is the best looking tray of them all, I'm not going to lie. The other's looking a bit floppy, and I think it's because the frost has got to them. I haven't watered them much just because I've been trying to reduce my watering over the winter just to avoid any rot going on in the greenhouse. But in my experience, when the ranunculus get hit by frost, they come back fine. So I'm not really too worried about them at this stage. So I'm hoping that once they get into the ground and things start warming up, they're going to have a little bit of a growth spurt and they're going to be looking fantabulous. So let's get planted. I'm just going to pull this full slab of ranunculus corms out of the tray, and as you can see, they've been producing roots in the tray. I know that I'm a bad plant parent, by the way. I know that they've been in the tray for too long, but I'm going to plant them now, so hopefully they'll forgive me for it. So I'm just going to tease them apart like this and pick out an individual plant with a corm on it, and let me do this on a hole that you can see. This one. So then I'm just going to take my knife and not dig a very deep hole, and then just push it into the soil, and the emerging leaves are just above the soil. So you don't plant them very deep at all, maybe half an inch, just so that the top of the corm is sort of just below the soil. So I'm not going to bore you by showing you the whole process, but I'm going to get the rest of this bed done. So we've had a really productive afternoon in the polytunnel. This bed's all planted up. The oregano slash, I think it's actually marjoram and oregano, that's all been cut back, and haven't done anything with that bed today. And this has all been weeded, ready for planting tomorrow, so these trays can be planted out in the morning. But at the moment, I don't think my back could take any more planting. So obviously then I've got this bed to weed here, and probably just a couple of things in here to weed, and then I just need to sort this section out because this had foxgloves in it at the time when I installed all of this weed membrane, and I just left it rolled up here ready for whenever the foxgloves were dug out. So they came out last autumn, so I just need to quickly go over that and then roll this weed membrane back over, and obviously put the irrigation back in. And yeah, so not doing too bad on the polytunnel front. Okay, so this is the apple mint that I got sent via my order that I made on eBay, and I was going to put it into pots, but looking at the roots that I've got here, I don't think that's going to be a very good idea. So I think I might put it into one of these shallow trays, and then I'm going to have to come up with a place to plant them. I might make a raised bed or something out here somewhere just to put it in. I don't mind it being in the ground because I feel like I'm going to use a lot of it. So yeah, I'm going to pot that up. The mint is potted up in these 3 trays, and they're going to sprout away, and I'm going to have some nice mint. This is apple mint, so I'm looking forward to that in the summer. I've never seen a puddle like that in front of my polytunnel before. There's another one of my long lost lip balms. I must go through a lip balm a week at least. That's unbelievable. So it's another day, another rainy day, as you can see. And now I think it's about 3:30 on a Friday afternoon, and I'm in the polytunnel. I'm determined to get that bed planted today. So I've got this cup of tea and some hobnobs in my pocket, and I'm gonna get cracking with that, I think, and hopefully by the time it gets dark in about an hour or so, I'll have got a fair bit of it done. Well, you can't really see me now, but it's just gone 5 o'clock, and I've got all of the Ranunculus planted that I had sitting in the trays, so that's really good. That's the job done. I'm off to get fish and chips for my tea. Tomorrow I'm at work in the morning, but in the afternoon I'm gonna carry on with my planting those willows that I got the other day, because they're still sitting in that bucket, so they need planting out. So I'm gonna go and enjoy my fish and chips, and then I'll see you again tomorrow. Afternoon guys, it is Saturday afternoon and I'm just in the flower field preparing to get these willow cuttings planted. The dogs are so excited because they've not been in the field for ages, just because I haven't let them in here because it's too wet. So what I've got here is this piece of rebar, which is not the piece that I was thinking of, but this is probably better because it's got that sharp point on the end. I'm going to use this to make the holes in this weed membrane. I'm just going to knock it in with a hammer and pull it back out, and then I can put the willow into the same hole that this has been in, and it's probably the same thickness as most of them, and if not I can just wiggle it around in the hole a bit to make the hole a bit bigger. So yeah, I'm going to crack on with getting that done. Last time I did this in this bed that's just behind the camera, I planted them about 12 inches apart, so I'm just going to do the same thing here, and I'm sure they'll be fine. I'm putting it in pointed side down. Okay, so what I'm going to do is basically cut the willow very close to the ground. So I'm going to just leave like a stump coming out of the ground. I'm going to take it quite low, and then that will shoot up again when it comes to springtime. Okay, so this willow has been pruned. It's looking nice and tidy. I've got rid of some of the weeds. Just need to clear some of the leaves off here. And then I've replanted some of the cuttings that I've made whilst I've been pruning it. So I'm hoping that this is going to refill this bed up with willow, and that one that I've just planted as well is going to be successful. So we're going to have lots of willow here, and hopefully it's going to create a nice screen and it's going to provide us with lots of willow too. So that's it for this week's video, guys. I got my willow cuttings planted, I got my mint cuttings planted, and I got my ranunculus planted as well. So got those jobs done, and next week I need to get these greenhouses tidied up and ready for seed sowing sessions next month.